This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Hi, everyone. In the words of Rafiki from one of my favorite movies, The Lion King, it is time. After 46 years of an extraordinary journey, it's with deep gratitude and heartfelt reflection that I announced my retirement from Zoo Miami, effective May 10th of this year. What began for me at the old Crandon Park Zoo on Key Biscayne evolved into Miami Metro Zoo, and ultimately into the world-class institution we know today as Zoo Miami. To have witnessed and even played a small part in that evolution has been one of the greatest honors of my life. Zoos cannot spend millions of dollars on new exhibits without committing a substantial portion of those budgets to in situ conservation of the very animals they choose to showcase. If zoos become the last place where those species can safely survive, then zoos have failed in what should be their top priority: to protect wild animals in the wild where they truly belong. It is that belief that led me to create what I am most proud of in my career, the establishment of the Ron McGill Conservation Endowment at the Zoo Miami Foundation. When people ask me what I want my legacy to be, I want it to be this endowment. It's been established in such a way that long after all of us are gone, it'll continue to fund conservation initiatives and scholarships that will help ensure the survival of some of our world's wonderful wildlife for generations to come. I want to thank the Zoo Miami Foundation for giving me the opportunity to remain connected to Zoo Miami and continue sharing the stories that matter. I am deeply honored to serve as the Foundation's Goodwill Ambassador and Conservation Liaison, a role that will allow me to focus on conservation while remaining closely involved with both our local and global communities. In this position, I will continue to be available to speak to individuals and groups throughout the community in educational, civic, and social organizations in the hope of inspiring a love of wildlife and a commitment to protecting it for generations to come. Through the Zoo Miami Foundation, I will also manage the newly established Into the Wild travel program, drawing on my many years of visiting all 7 continents to create and lead inspiring adventures in nature travel for zoo supporters and donors. Most importantly, I will be able to continue building the Ron McGill Conservation Endowment, ensuring ongoing support for in situ conservation programs around the world, and providing scholarships for those dedicated to careers in wildlife conservation. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the incredible support I've received for so many years. I'm looking forward to see what lies ahead. We'll see you around.
Ron McGill will be on with us here shortly. He's not going anywhere as it relates to this show. We love him, and he will be around here for as long as we're around here, and he's around here. So no worries on that front. But Ron will talk to us about retiring in a little bit here. I wanted to do something here that I was remiss in not doing yesterday because we make a lot of fun of Pablo Torre in general. I think that the audience who appreciates what this show is and what that show is and just the universe around this show has some sort of understanding of how difficult it is to be as excellent as Pablo Torre finds out has been. But the number of awards that this podcast continues to get because its excellence is that distinct is truly staggering. Like, it has been a monumental sports achievement to watch Pablo Torre win. And I'm just going to list some of the awards, okay? It's not a few of them. It's a lot of them. I don't know what the Ambies are. Chris informed me that they're the Oscars of podcasting. But he wasn't just named the best sports podcast because he was also named the podcaster of the year. Those are 2 different awards. So it was, what do you make him
He named himself that, podcast of the year?
No, it's not. He's not naming himself that. This is a group of people. What do you mean he named himself that?
I'm pretty sure he named himself podcast of the year. I saw him do that.
No, he did not. He didn't name himself. This is the Oscars of podcasting. I've never heard of the
said that?
Ambies. I don't know what the Ambies are.
The Poi. P-O-Y.
Podcaster of the year.
Thank you. You didn't get that? Everybody knows the Poi. Congrats to Pablo.
Chris,
Pablo the Poi.
do me the favor of showing you why Greg Cody isn't the podcaster of the year by just playing the sound of his stomach at the end of yesterday's show.
What was that sound?
That was your... we're not making that up.
I deny it.
Yesterday in the postgame show, it was Dan being like, all right, thank you, guys. And then that noise came.
That noise did not emanate
Yes,
from
it
my
did. Is
mouth.
that the dog that's around here?
That's not an
It
edit.
did sound like a dog growling.
That's not Ollie. No. That is so much more of a ferocious growl than the one Ollie has.
That's not me.
It is you. You're denying something that's absolutely you. That is not distorted by us. That is why you're not the podcaster of the year, even though it's the best sound to come out of your body of any kind. Let's examine for a second what
That's after 4 hours of coffee.
Yeah, let's not examine that.
No, I want to examine not only that, but just in general, I'd like to examine how it is that the body makes that sound and how it is that in your imagination, if I hadn't told you what this sound was, what would you guys have guessed this sound was?
Mordor.
Well,
It's a small, angry animal.
Yeah, it sounds like a
it does
dog
sound
growling.
like that's why it's
Maybe
not
a
me.
mongoose.
If it were me, it wouldn't be the coffee. It would be the lack of breakfast. Why? Because I come in yesterday, there's no bacon. It's a bacon job that I come in here and I can't get my bacon.
Greg, you know what that was? Another Greg Cody first down.
No, it's a bacon job that he couldn't have bacon. You guys, we're going to play that sound for Ron McGill and ask him what animal makes this. We're going to say it is an animal. And we're going to say, what is this? Identify this sound. So it's not just that Pablo, okay, is getting Best Sports Podcast. It's not just that he's getting Podcaster of the Year. He's also won the Gold Signal Award for Best Sports Show, the Silver Signal Award for Best Video Podcast. He's won the Gold Medal for Best Documentary Podcast from the Sports Podcast Awards. And last year, he won the Edward R. Murrow Award for Sports Reporting, as well as a Peabody nomination. You guys are all bored by this, as I say it. I know Juju's not. I know Juju likes to celebrate. Juju's a good teammate. The rest of you are bad teammates.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
What do you mean?
I salute Pablo Torre.
Me too.
Him winning is us winning. So salute, my brother. And Matthew Sullivan, I salute you and everybody else a part of the PFTO podcast.
Agreed.
Well put.
I totally agree. He's the best Tory since Joe. And when you said Edward R. Murrow, I perked up. That's an award right there.
Hey, yo.
The Ed.
You perked up?
I did perk up.
What's that look like?
The Ed is what he just called the Edward R. Murrow Award.
That's what we call it in the industry.
The Ed.
Yes.
The Ed. Let me see here. Tony, I don't mean to pick on you here because I don't think Zaz knows either. Do you guys know who Edward R. Murrow is?
Of course. Legendary broadcaster.
Yeah. Newsman, right?
Yeah.
Journeyman newsman.
He was Cronkite before Cronkite.
Exactly right. Thank you, Greg. Took the words right out of my mouth.
You're welcome.
Play that sound again.
Not me.
Greg, we're not making this up, okay? This is not a distortion.
It wouldn't be the first time you made up something to embarrass me.
But we're not doing that. I'm promising you that's not something that we're doing.
I'm going to get you the full context. I'll get you how yesterday's show ended.
Okay, clearly that's AI. That's artificial intelligence. You ask AI, make a rendition.
More GI,
First of
right?
all, you don't hold a phone like that when you talk to AI.
Greg Cody, whatever, growling.
You're so busy making your own jokes that you didn't hear him say more GI than AI because it's a gastrointestinal issue.
Okay.
It is. Like you cannot have 2 thermoses of coffee on an empty stomach. You haven't eaten anything in 18 hours. Your stomach is going to give you the dancing swords. Like, for sure, you have no chance. I'm surprised that you don't notice that your body is making these sounds.
Bacon Gate.
You know about that IBS?
No.
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
We're going to trick Ron McGill with it, correct?
For sure. He's going to say that that's some sort of like small rodent, maybe a varmint of some sort.
Rodent.
We have talked before here about how, in general, the sports fan is a bit numb to cheating. I really don't know at this point what the cheating scandal for performance enhancers is that I would have to put in front of you for it to start a lot of clucking outrage. But Jurickson Profar being suspended for an entire baseball season at the age of 33, it costs the Braves, obviously. He's 33 years old, and I understand at that age why you would go through the pharmacy to try and do something like this. But 162 games suspension is baseball reacting to something it didn't react to a long time ago with punitive measures that are really punitive. Like, I don't know how long the average baseball career is, but there is very little precedent. There's some, but there's very little precedent for a guy getting an entire year. 162 games at the age of 33. I'm going to say comes pretty close to ending your career, because I don't think you could just not play a year of baseball at the big league level and just return intact, and you're going to return stained. What do I have to do in baseball? I have to make it a star, right? I have to make it Aaron Judge or Ohtani for anybody to actually care about this. I can't make it Jurickson Profar.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just a baseball thing. I mean, if random NBA player got popped for drug testing for the full season, I think we'd kind of shrug our shoulders there too. I don't think it's just isolated to baseball.
But a full year suspension. Look, baseball has in some instances become it's supposed to be the national pastime, but it's become something of a regional sport. And I know they care about this in Atlanta. They do care about this in the city that it happens. But what I'm marveling at is the idea that a year's suspension on a starter could be met by an audience that is so numb to cheating with a shrug, because 162 games is crazy. That is somebody, and he's a repeat offender, right?
Right.
So and so that's the reason that's happening. But even sports media members, like Cody's over here yawning. Despite all the coffee that he drinks, he's yawning at this as subject matter.
The reason, and I wasn't yawning, but the reason that it's of mild interest to me is that when we think of PEDs, particularly in baseball, you start with the biggest names possible: Clemens, Bonds, A-Rod. And so when you get somebody who's not a household name, it barely resonates with me.
You remember the first name that got popped when they started instituting these rules? And you would expect it to be like this big.
Was it Guillermo Mota?
Gordon?
No, I think it was Alex Sanchez. Like, it was a guy who doesn't look like he has any type of muscles, and he's getting popped for the entire season back then.
Yeah, this is the equivalent of Jared Vanderbilt has been suspended for an entire NBA season. About it.
I mean, shoot, from a local perspective, we weren't that outraged with Aaron Ekblad last season. He got popped for 20 games.
As he started playing well, I was happy.
Yeah.
People always talk about New Year's resolutions, eat better, work out more, etc., etc. We might still be early in 2026, but I'm sure most of you have already broken your resolutions. Me, I'm still going. My resolutions are simple. Be comfortable, especially at the rink. If you know me, you know that hockey isn't just something I watch, it's something I live. Late nights, cold arenas, long playoff runs. You're on your feet a lot, and if your socks aren't right, you feel it badly. That's why I've been rocking Bombas sports socks. They're cushioned exactly where you need it. Sweat wicking, supportive, basically built for movement. Whether I'm at the game, skating a little myself, or pacing around during overtime like I somehow affect the outcome, they keep me locked in and comfortable. And when I finally get home to break down everything that happened on the ice, Bombas has the everyday stuff too. Slippers, tees, underwear, all ridiculously soft. It's the kind of comfort you don't think about, because you don't have to. Head to bombas.com/Dan and use code DAN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/DAN. Code DAN.
Hey, it's Mike Ryan, and I want to talk to you about the random midweek hang that you have with your friends. Maybe it's an NBA game. You get a text, hey, come over, you want to watch the game? And maybe you're like, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to stay home. And then you think about it. After your buddy hits you up, and you know just the thing that'll make that regular midweek hang around the basketball game into a special time, into a Miller time. That's right, this happened to me just last week. I grabbed a 6-pack of Miller Lite, said I was on my way, and next thing you know, we're arguing about rotations like we're on the coaching staff, yelling about a missed call, and the game's coming down to the final possession. It was one of those nights that you look around, you take a sip, and you think, yeah, this was the right call. And my friendship's stronger for it. Cheers to legendary moments with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
What are you reaching for? If you're a smoker or dipper, you could be reaching for so much more with Zyn nicotine pouches. When you reach for Zyn, you're reaching for 10 satisfying varieties and 2 strengths for a smoke-free and spit-free experience that lets you lean in, for chances to break free from your routine, and a unique nationwide community. Whatever you're reaching for, reach for it with America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Find yours Zyn wherever nicotine products are sold near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Don Batard.
A woman who was out swimming with her friends is believed to have been swallowed whole by a 13-foot shark without any of her friends noticing. That's the weirdest part about that story. You're swimming with friends, you're having a good time, and then all of a sudden, people are looking around and go, "Where's Shelley?" Like, nobody screamed?
Every friend group has a Shelley, though, that if they go missing because a shark ate them whole, you wouldn't notice.
Classic Shelley.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Stugotz.
She went quietly, apparently. If I'm swallowed whole by a shark, you're going to know it.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The thing that happens here to me that's interesting and not right morally is it's not the crime, it's the criminal. You guys don't actually care about the crime. It's give me a famous name and so doing the exact same thing.
That's a good example by Tony. That's the only reason I'm interested in the headline Chauncey Billups facing decades in prison is because it's Chauncey Billups.
Too far away from the mic.
A little closer, buddy.
Sorry. How about this?
Let's play the context for Greg Cody. This is why he does not win Podcaster of the Year or any awards whatsoever. Here's the context for Greg Cody punctuating the show yesterday.
And those are your pose.
Thank you.
It's great timing, though. Like, how'd the stomach know the timing of when to jump
It was doing that all show, and it's been doing it for months because, again, I don't know how many of you drink coffee. You can't drink thermoses full of coffee on an empty stomach, on a stomach that's been empty for 18 hours. Look, this is what's in his stomach. I'm going to tell you how his evening goes.
No bacon. That's what's in my stomach.
I'm going to tell you how his evening goes. He has dinner.
Take on 2026. The scandal waiting to happen.
At 6 p.m.,
waiting to happen,
he stops eating food so it doesn't get in the way of the beer buzz.
Oh, this guy.
Is that true?
He's blaspheming me. It's sacrilege.
I know you.
The lies you say about me.
I know you.
You just said I never win awards. I've won several writing awards just in the past year.
You don't win broadcasting awards.
No, I've never won an award because I
never won an Ed.
Too far from the mic. That's my problem.
No, I want to know if there is a strict rule in the Cody household that, a lot of people, they won't eat after 8 p.m. Yeah, watch your weights.
What time did you have dinner on Monday?
It was later than usual because I was waiting for my wife to get home and she was late, so it was like 7:30, 7:45.
Okay, and so you have gone, by the time your stomach is making that sound, you've gone a full 16 hours without any food in your stomach. It's all been liquid. There's been beer, yes or no?
It depends on the day.
Sometimes I'll ask him what he had for lunch, and he'll be like, I had a couple chips.
Did the day end in a Y?
Yes, it did, as a matter of fact, coincidentally. You have banquet of food here. You serve breakfast, not bacon. You serve breakfast and lunch here. So that's why I'm gaining weight, is working 2 days a week on this show. It's a banquet before I leave. And then that's not my noise. It's AI. I tell you, artificial intelligence is taking over the world, man. It's hurting people. Just like it's doing that to me now. Everybody thinks I made that sound.
You did make that sound. We're not making this up.
You're not. Yeah, you and Christopher would never get together to embarrass me.
I'm promising the audience, as someone who does not lie to the audience, I'm promising the audience that is not distorted sound in any way, and that's why you never win the Ed.
I have never won the Ed. You're right, and I would love to. I
can't believe you guys aren't more impressed by Pablo. There are a lot of people making podcasts. There are a lot of people doing sports podcasts.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a microphone. Everyone's got a show. Pablo's the one winning all the awards.
I mean, unlike some people, I don't aggressively nominate myself for every award out there. And I'm not saying Pablo does.
That sounds
Thank God someone said it.
He does. He does aggressively.
Everyone that exists.
He does aggressively nominate himself for a award.
And pays for it.
He tried to pay me to get nominated for a Suey.
Trista, he doesn't pay for it.
You do.
We do.
Whoa.
We do. Meadowlark Media pays for the nominations, but still,
That's a scandal right there.
What? How is
That's
it?
a scandal.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Oscar winners also have to nominate and pay. Like, this is all awards do this.
I don't know about that. Not the Ed. The Ed is above reproach. The Ed comes to you. You don't go to the Ed.
Put that on the poll.
Put it on the poll at Batard Show. Does the Ed come to you? You don't come to the Ed.
Just like to remind y'all that's going to read ED.
Oh, that's true. That does come to you.
And it does.
Right, Greg?
Fair comment.
Has Stephen A. Smith had anything to say yet about the Pelicans?
We're monitoring.
Look, coming up. It's coming up next.
Coming up, Stephen A. responds to Pelicans' social media video. Man, they milked the first 40 minutes of that show.
Gets that D block.
Talking about everything else instead of his feud with the Pelicans and Zion.
Unfortunately, to report here, you have to pay a fee to submit for the Edward R. Murrow Award.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now that's
Tough times for the Murrow Foundation and the estate of Edward R.
That is sad.
I want to get to some football things with you guys. I've got top five. Tony's got top five low-key free agents, and Juju's got top five NFL players that he doesn't trust based on 24 hours later. And it's why he doesn't win the Ed, based on yesterday's conversation about players in sports you trust least, like James Harden. But before we do that, I did want to get to something I know we've gotten kind of used to, I guess, over the last, 2 months, maybe 3 months. Tua and Kyler Murray aren't going to be with the same teams. And I know if you've been listening to Tony's been down on Kyler Murray for a while. I think Kyler Murray still has value, and I'm really kind of surprised that Kyler Murray's just going to be waived. Nobody wants to pick up that contract, but I would think that if you're, say, the Minnesota Vikings, and you have Justin Jefferson, who has to be wildly frustrated at what happened with J.J. McCarthy, I would think that the Minnesota Vikings, as one example, how old is Kyler Murray? Can you look that up for me, please?
Can't be 30.
No.
The thing that you can now do in that sport.
28.
We were talking yesterday about the fact that pass rushers have enormous value, but the greatest value that you can have is a quarterback that is good at value, so you can build the rest of your team. And what the Arizona Cardinals taught me by drafting Kyler Murray is, we can move with these new rules off of this salary cap stuff. Josh Rosen, get out of here. We're done with you. We don't have to do this for several years where we're trying to figure this out. Get out of here. And the Vikings can now do that with J.J. McCarthy as well if something is available that's better. They moved off of Sam Darnold as a quarterback. That was a mistake. The Sam Darnold thing was not an illusion in Minnesota. He reinvented himself in Minnesota, and Seattle saw something that I'm going to dare say the rest of the world didn't. But Seattle saw something, and I would say that whatever Seattle saw, I would hold Kyler Murray in higher regard right now than I held Sam Darnold in when he was available to Seattle. That's me. Maybe the rest of you are ahead of me on believing in Sam Darnold more than that. Tony, I know you're out on Kyler Murray, but at this minute right now, I hold Kyler Murray in higher regard as a quarterback than I did when Sam Darnold became available with the Vikings. And if I give him, I know what you loved. You loved Brissett with McBride because he opened up McBride. I like the Cardinal skill position guys. I don't like him the way I like Justin Jefferson. I thought that Sam Darnold was a contrivance in Minnesota because I thought their skill guys were that good. I believe if I put Kyler Murray in Minnesota, I reinvent him.
You not only talk about Addison, but of Jefferson, you talk about Addison, you're talking about Jalen Naylor. Like, there's a lot of good weapons that they have there. Hawkinson too, Aaron Jones. Like, the list goes on and on. KOC is the reason why Sam Darnold was good, and I get it. There's a contrivance of you have an extremely great play caller in Kevin O'Connell. Sam Darnold's going to look good. You can kind of throw in anybody there. But what Sam Darnold did was he throws the ball in a way that Kyler Murray just simply cannot. I know Kyler Murray has a live arm, but he can't throw to the boundary. He has a really tough time throwing up the middle because he can't see, right? Sam Darnold's 6'4.5", and Kyler Murray's like, what, 5'10"-ish? Like, there's a completely different skill set that Sam Darnold doesn't have that Kyler Murray does. I will grant you that, but I don't think it's the inverse is true.
What about the team with the aging superstar, the Pittsburgh Steelers? A team like that, would you see Kyler fitting in there?
Sure. I think it's scheme reliant, right? Like, whatever it was that Arizona was running, like, they had a lot of pieces that were great that didn't fit Kyler Murray, right?
Kyler Murray will have a much bigger market than Tua will, right?
Well, all it takes is 3 or 4 teams to need a quarterback, and we're all assuming starting quarterback here. I'm not. I think in a certain situation and the right price, you sign Kyler Murray or Tua as experienced backups at this point.
They're not in the same class, though. I would have a hope with Kyler Murray that I would not have with Tua.
I think Kyler Murray will be a starter somewhere next year.
There's way too much need at quarterback for Kyler Murray to be on a bench somewhere.
I don't think Kyler Murray's any good either,
He's
by
not.
the
He
way.
sucks.
But I think he will be a starter somewhere next year.
Well, Minnesota, Atlanta, the Jets, I mean, there are enough teams to have a little bit of a bidding war. And I agree with you. Kyler Murray's got more market value than Tua. There's no question about that. But I do think Tua's career is not done. He's going to wind up somewhere.
Kyler Murray or Mac Jones?
Oh, man.
Mac had some good showings in San Francisco.
Yeah, but
Dano.
it's Kyle Shanahan. Everyone does. Baker Mayfield. Everyone does.
Sam Darnold did.
Let's get back to the conversation of players coach. Is Kyle Shanahan a players coach? Like, does he give off to you a whole lot of?
I wrote soft, but then I scratched it out, and then I put Halfley.
So the successful coaches in that sport, I know there are multiple ways to win. I know that there are multiple things you want from a coach. But if you said to me, and I think I'm different from the audience this way and the power of the illusion of leadership, I believe that the grand majority of football fans would prefer a coach who's in charge as a value than what I'd prefer, which is give me O'Connell and somebody who can make a quarterback. Like, just give me the skill set of that guy can make a quarterback. Give me what Ben Johnson can do as a play caller. I don't care if he's got control of his locker room. I don't care if he's a player's coach. I don't care about culture. I don't care whether guys are on time. Can he make Caleb Williams into somebody who doesn't become Kyler Murray? Because you guys are sitting here saying Kyler Murray sucks. And I do think Kyler Murray, what he has done is he sort of gets stuck in the particular position of never before this time has there been a quarterback of that size that's allowed to play the position, because you have to be able to see over your offensive linemen. A quarterback usually, Kyler Murray would have never, before he got drafted, where he got drafted, that would have never happened if Baker Mayfield and Russell Wilson hadn't, at that size, showed you that it doesn't have to just be in the pocket. You can roll out. You can make some of the throws. You say he stinks, and I like the Cardinal skill position players. I do like them. Like, I thought that Harrison was going to be a number one, and he hasn't been there for anybody.
He was supposed to be a lock for number one wide receiver.
I blame Mike for that, because Mike made this bet his rookie year that he's my lock of the season to go over on yards.
Everyone
and then
was
that
saying that.
right there is where it all ended for him.
DraftKings Sportsbook puts you in the middle of basketball's biggest star-driven moments. Bet player props, bet live, and when a game turns fast, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player gets injured anytime in the first half, your bet stays alive. And once it settles, you still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's with code DAN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Don Batard.
The elephant went into a 7-Eleven and bought a pack of cigarettes. But my question to Ron is this.
Stugotz.
That joke didn't really land the way you wanted it to, did it? We all just stared at you. It didn't land at all.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Trey McBride is easily one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the world right now. And like what he was not able to do with Trey McBride, like throw him touchdowns, use him in the red zone. Like it can't just be scheme related where we're not going to scheme our best guy open. It's like Kyler's got to find the guys, and he just never did.
I've got a question for the room. Bomani Jones, do we think he's a smart guy?
Yes.
Well, Bomani says that he would take Kyler Murray over Jalen Hurts, Bo Nix, and Bryce Young.
I wouldn't take him over any of those guys, actually.
I wouldn't take him over any of those
Wow.
guys.
Well, but wait a minute, though, because Bo Nix, you're saying that the coach can make that quarterback, right? Like we're all in agreement that Bo Nix is a product of whatever it is Sean Payton's doing. None of us expected that from Bo Nix. Bryce Young, he was good last year. I don't know if Kyler Murray couldn't have done the same sort of things in Carolina that Bryce Young was doing. Yeah, because Bryce Young benefits from the pioneering of Kyler Murray. He's also too small. Like he's a quarterback who wouldn't have been drafted, wouldn't have been not that high 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Bryce Young does not get drafted that high because you tell me when all this changed. It was with Russell Wilson, correct? Russell Wilson is the guy that size who's allowed to play the position. Before that, we would have never drafted Baker Mayfield, Bryce Young, Kyler Murray that high because quarterbacks have to be the size of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Right. No, you're right. And it applies. Yesterday we were talking about Reuben Bain's arm length being an inch too short. And it certainly applies when you have a short quarterback. But I agree with you. I think I would rather argue that Arizona gave up on Kyler Murray too soon than I would argue he's no good.
Well, the thing, though, that I've been talking about the Dolphins and the hopelessness of their position. Arizona, who you got that's better than that? Like, I understand that Brissett's not an answer. I know Brissett threw a ton of yards. Brissett had a great statistical season last year, and the Cardinals were the Cardinals. Like, they were terrible. They lost a ton of one-score games, but I think they lost them at least in part because Brissett was their quarterback.
Well, also in terms of Kyler Murray and them giving up on him right now, like the reputation ain't so great, and certainly behind the scenes, they know even more than the things that have been leaked out and we know about Kyler Murray.
Guys, they gave up on him too soon. How many years was Tannehill? Yes, no. How many years?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 exactly for Kyler Murray. How's it too soon? We know what he is. He's a guy that's going to give you incredible plays once in a while, but he's going to put you in a lot of really bad situations, make a lot of stupid throws.
So Juju brought up, though, Jalen Hurts, and that's an interesting one, right?
That's my guy, though.
Yeah, but that one... You think if I took Kyler Murray and put him in the Eagles' offense? Jalen Hurts is a special quarterback in that offense, but that offense won the Super Bowl because they had the best player at every position on offense. Like across the board, that offensive line, every one of their players, you don't think that Kyler Murray would do big things in that offense? You think he'd be turning the ball over a ton?
I think he'd be turning the ball over, but he'd also do great things. Like, I think that would be a wash for me, Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray.
Quick update. Ron McGill is doing zoo things and will join us tomorrow, not today.
Doing zoo things?
He's retiring.
Well,
What does he
I got
care?
the note. He's busy presenting painted dog pups. And I didn't really know what that meant, so I just said zoo things.
Wow, he's still working hard after announcing that retirement. I'll tell you what, day comes that I announce my retirement, work ethic's going down the tube.
Also, Kyler Murray, maybe check out the Cincinnati Reds. You still got a chooch on you.
Well, I mean, that part, right? We just talked about we talked about Drew Dalman retiring early at the age of 27. The idea that Kyler Murray is still old enough, he got all of the football money and decided to do football over baseball, even though baseball is vastly physically safer. Made a choice that was really interesting, right? Because he would have been a first rounder in both sports, and baseball.
He was drafted, right? In baseball.
Yes,
Yeah, he was drafted.
Yeah, he would have been. It's harder if you get drafted in football, especially where he got drafted, you're going to immediately play football. You get drafted there in baseball, you might not ever get to the major leagues because somehow that sport is harder than even playing quarterback. The success rate is harder to come by than even being a starting quarterback, which is widely regarded as the toughest thing to do in sports. But he could go back to baseball. It is something that would be a funny choice if he made that. But he's going to get a starting job. And you guys, where is he forecasted to go? Because Minnesota makes more sense to me than Pittsburgh because of all of the things that I stated, including the play caller. Like, McCarthy doesn't quite inspire what it is that I want inspired there that O'Connell does. And I do think there's the risk that they just move off of McCarthy quickly because the way that they're doing the finances in that sport, it's no longer a killer to miss on the first-round pick who's a quarterback. You can get rid of him within a couple of years in a way you couldn't before, which is how we ended up with 7 years of Tannehill.
Why wouldn't Atlanta be a good spot for him?
Michael Penix, like they still see him.
But he's always hurt.
He's
Like, you're going to have to bring
always
someone else, and then you win a job.
I'd say easy spot is the Jets. They have nobody. So it's like,
Gosh, but that's not a good place for Murray.
That'll swallow you. They just did that to Justin Fields. Like, I think that Justin Fields is a lesser quarterback. It's been proven this year, but I would have argued that that's a lesser quarterback than Kyler Murray before he even went to the Jets. Kyler Murray has to be very selective about what he chooses next. I don't know how much humbling is involved there. I don't know how much he looks in a mirror and says, I was playing too many video games. I was irresponsible. I need to grow up. But the next spot that he chooses has to be a place with skill positions. Look, Aaron Rodgers didn't want to go to the Steelers. He wanted to go to the Vikings. And the reason he wanted to go to the Vikings is because he learned, look, I've got all these skill guys and I got the play caller, and they told him we don't want you with the Vikings. Do you assume, because I assume that that's where Kyler Murray will end up. Do you think there should be another favorite? Because if I'm Kyler Murray and I'm advising Kyler Murray, I'm telling him figure out how to get to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to go wherever he can start, and I think the Jets are included. Kyler Murray's been buried in Arizona, which is one of the lowest radar cities and teams in the NFL. If he can go to New York, and all of a sudden he's thinking, I can finally be the national star that I deserve to be, I think he does that in a heartbeat.
I think New York is one of the, yes, he'll go where he believes he has the best chance of starting, and I think New York would be last on the list of those teams for him. There's nothing there to allow him to be successful. He'll go there if it's the only place that's offering him a starting job, but I don't see him ending up there.
I think don't count out Indianapolis because they have everything they need except their leader. You dig? And
they just signed him to a transition tag, to Daniel Jones, $37.5 million.
Yeah. But with your biggest ability is when we start the season. Yeah. So where are you going to be? Watching bonbons with your wife. Yeah.
He's right about that. You haven't watching bonbons, yeah.
Watching
You
bonbons?
watch them, Dano. Just move on. Nobody heard it. I'm going to head out.
Yeah, I'm going to do that to you. In fact, yeah.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for leaking confidence.
I've seen... It was right there, too. He had it.
Nobody heard that.
Yeah. I've seen the speculation that Arizona could end up with Malik Willis because of the LaFleur connection. His brother now working in Arizona.
I don't hate that. Like that's a good move for the Cardinals. That opens up Miami for Kyler Murray. Like, is that something that would be appeasing to him?
Well, I would think at this point Miami wants Malik Willis. No, I would assume.
I think it's between Arizona and the Dolphins for Malik Willis, according to rumors.
But rumors, is what we're citing. I would assume that rumors are just starting there based on, the Green Bay guys are in charge now in
and
Miami.
And LaFleur's brother is in Arizona.
Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world.
There you go. Rumors.
Can you guys give Juju, please, a microphone in the penalty box so that I can go to him on his top 5 after I do Tony's top 5? Because I do want to go to Juju and his top 5 on. Did he just tear one of his hamstrings like Howard Bryant getting out of bed, tearing both of his hamstrings? I believe he's pulling at his hamstring now. I believe that his confidence leaked out of his body and injured his hamstring. Here are see if you guys like any of these as you need your football fix on Tony's top 5. These are players that are under the radar. Free agents available under the radar?
Yeah, low-key free agents. You're not going to get the Malik Willises, the Jalen Phillips, the Trey Hendricksons. We're not going to get those. Those are obvious. I want to go more low-key, more hidden names, more guys that you're like, I've heard that name before. I really like him.
So if it's low-key, are you like whispering this? Like, what does this mean?
I think you do need
There's one that's a high-key name, but it's low-key.
Okay, but do we have any whole lot?
No, just straight 5.
All right, so it's just, but it's very low key.
It's very low key. And when I say this name, you're gonna be like, I like him.
That's it. Is this the high key?
No, this is still low key. High key is later on in the list. Low key, number 5, free agent available, Chiggy Okonkwo.
I like him.
Tight end for the Tennessee Titans can run like a horse.
Okay, you're talking too loud.
Big guy.
It's got to be low key.
Big guy can catch. I like him with Cam Ward. They didn't use him probably as much as they should have. If he can get to somewhere else that likes to feature the tight end, it's a very, very good piece.
I feel it's unfair everything that happened to Cam Ward. I feel like Cam Ward, it wasn't quite like playing as if I had just dropped him in the Amazon, but he was running for his life similarly all season last year.
Yeah, it was close. Number 4. This is a guy who's going to be an instant Hall of Famer the moment he retires and hangs the cleats up. But he needs to find a new home, and I think he can find a very good home in New England.
A little quicker.
That's Mike Evans.
That's number 3, right?
Is he
That's
done?
number 4.
Is he done in Tampa?
Done.
Yeah, get the low-key numbers.
In Tampa, he's done.
He's done,
But for the next team, I mean, he could be a big red zone presence for Drake May.
He's only got 1,000-yard seasons, right? He's never not had
Except this
1,000
season, he
yard
got hurt.
season.
He couldn't have 1,000 yards this
Big
season.
name for a low key.
Exactly right. But that's why I throw it off, because you're like, oh, Mike Evans, the free agent. No,
Number 3.
Number 3, going back to the tight end, Isaiah Likely. Good player. Always been behind Mark Andrews. If he gets to a team, all of a sudden Travis Kelce says, hey, I'm not as good as I used to be.
Immortal Mark Andrews.
Exactly. All of a sudden Isaiah Likely with Patrick Mahomes, you got that offense humming. He's a good player.
Number 2.
Exactly right, Craig. Number 2, the highest key name in the list just because he won the MVP of the Super Bowl. Kenneth Walker III.
Oh, yeah.
Seattle said, hey, we're not doing this anymore.
That's a high key.
That's why I said high key but low key, because people see MVP of the Super Bowl and he's not. He's a free agent. Why wouldn't they?
Can't be low key if you're Super Bowl MVP.
But that's what I'm saying. It's low key.
Juju, put it on the poll. Can the Super Bowl MVP be a low key acquisition?
It's high key, low key.
Yeah.
And number 1, I think the best guy in all free agency, Greg, you might want to agree with this.
Yeah.
If he comes over here to the Miami Dolphins, he could be a really good piece for a future quarterback. That's Alec Pierce.
Okay.
Just boredom and
Greg,
indifference.
what position does that guy play?
You know what? That's 6 names in your top 5. Anybody else counting or just me?
No, I think you got it wrong.
Anybody else counting?
I don't think there were any all alive.
6 names.
That kind of thing.
You didn't answer the question about
It's not a Greg Cody
Pierce.
first down.
I don't know Alex Pierce.
You don't know he's
Punt.
a wide receiver. He's
Punt.
a wide receiver for the Colts. No, you don't. You're the
Who's
football
Alex
expert.
Pierce?
Biggest game in 20 years.